Hey, we live in Newtown. Teach me how to Dougie, Mike.
Back again. This time, just got some beers. Didn't write anything down on a napkin this time, though.
Yeah, we didn't write anything down on a napkin, although there are some hot fucking girls right there. So, I'm going to make sure to keep an eye on them this time. So we'll do that. But I wanted to start this video off by basically playing the role of a contrarian. I'm going to play the role of a contrarian because if you really look at Doug Pederson and Carson Wentz from last year, basically the same season. You think of Carson Wentz, had a great first 3 games, then he kind of fell off a cliff. If you look at Doug Pederson, called a great first 3 games, kind of fell off a cliff. There's this perception in Philadelphia that Carson Wentz, he's going to be okay, but Doug Pederson is not. And I'm one of those people. I fall into that trap, right?
Yeah.
You know? The excuse for Carson Wentz that he didn't put up numbers well is because he didn't have any offensive weapons. Well, Doug Pederson didn't have any offensive weapons, did he? So what's the difference?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's fair enough to say now that they're in the same boat. They both have the weapons, so we'll see how it pans out for both of them this year. I think the biggest thing for Carson Wentz is, obviously, you hope that that starting offensive line can stay intact the whole entire season. Mm-hmm. And if they can, I mean, then I guess we'll see really how well he can do, because we saw last year, those first 3 games, he looked pretty spectacular. Then he kind of fell off after that with the whole Lane Johnson suspension. So you wonder, now that he's got that big-time wide receiver, he's got a big running back, you wonder if he can really make that jump. And then it's, then it goes to Pederson, and it goes, now he's got the weapons as well. He's got to call up the plays. He's got to make the right decisions. But, no, you're exactly right. Wentz and Pederson are kind of both in the same boat there.
Yeah, it really is funny because I fall into the trap too, I just assume that Carson Wentz is okay, and I basically think that Doug Pederson is a bumbling idiot, and I don't think he's going to survive. So it's funny how the perception works because, well, if you really think about it, again, they had the same season. They didn't.
Yeah.
According to the people. We're ready to give up on Doug. But Doug Pederson, Doug Pederson stinks. But Carson Wentz, he's the franchise. He's the savior.
Well, the thing with Pederson is, all I want from him this year is to really kind of just be average. I don't think
our expectations are low.
Yes, they are low. And I think what happened last year is that Pederson, he got a little bit excited. You could see, especially early on in the season, the Eagles were going for a lot of 4th and 1s in like the first quarter of games. And you hope that he kind of settles down. If he can go for like a 4th and 1, maybe late in the game when it's a close game, but you just gotta play to win the game. You don't want to lose the game in the first quarter. And I think, early on in the season, first half of the season, they kind of did that sometimes, where they would try to get a little bit too aggressive.
Yeah.
And we also saw with a lot of Pederson's play calls that sometimes that they were suspect. So you hope that he can clean that stuff up, and if he can, then Eagles should be all right. But, the thing with Pederson is we knew when he came in here that he was never going to be this, he was never going to live up to Andy Reid.
No.
We knew that. So we're just kind of hoping that he can be somewhat close to Andy Reid, and if he can get into that, kind of category, and then you get a guy like Wentz, hopefully you get a guy like Alshon Jeffrey that stays here for a long time. And then hopefully in the draft you get your, future running back for a while. Then you're, possibly thinking about building something.
Yeah. It's funny you bring up the 4th and 1 because I actually like the aggressiveness. That's like the one positive that I actually like from Doug Pederson. It reminds me of Mike Tomlin and going for all the 2-point conversions. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
That's like the new era of NFL. That's where we're going.
The problem with it was, I don't think last year, I don't think they had the personnel for it. This year, I think that they have the personnel because you got a guy like Blunt, who's a big back. He can get you those 4th and 1 situations. So that this year it wouldn't be a problem since you got a guy like him. But no, you're right. I mean, it is good to have that aggressiveness. The only problem is when it's like the first quarter of a game, you're going for it on 4th and 1, you don't get it. Maybe you lose by 3 points at the end of the game. Then you look back at that and you say, well, maybe if they would have taken a field goal here, would have been a tie game or something like that, or possibly you could win.
Yeah, it really depends where they are on the field. Like I don't like it when they're going on a 4th and 1 at midfield, but maybe at the 30-yard line, maybe you're in field goal range, but you still want to go for the 4th and 1. I'm cool with that. I like when they do that.
Yeah,
so it's just the problem last year was the actual play calling of the 4th and 1s. That's what I had a problem with. I didn't care that he went for the 4th downs.
Well,
I didn't care about that.
You know, we all remember that game against first game that obviously comes to mind, the Cowboys game in Dallas.
Yeah.
You know, that stupid play call there. When they were passing, we were in field goal range. We were already up by a touchdown. We could have went up by 10, taken the field goal. But what I also think about is that game against the Giants in New York. And he was trying to, run those running plays with Wentz on 3rd and short, 4th and 1, trying to go to the outside with Wentz, and it was just...
it was a play you called already one too many times.
Yeah.
So, that's... We'll get into some of that, some of the actual play calling itself. But, I'm starting this video out by being positive, because I know we're not always positive about Doug Pederson, and I just want to give a lesson on perception. Because, again, it's funny. It's like we got a rookie coach and a rookie quarterback, yet the rookie quarterback gets the pass and Doug Pederson doesn't. It's funny how that works.
Yeah. It's true.
We have an assumption that Doug Pederson sucks. And maybe he does. I think he does. I fall into the trap.
We definitely had that perception because we all think about, Pederson as that, backup quarterback here in Philadelphia. Well, and he was a starter for some time.
And he's a goof, and he doesn't handle himself well in the press conferences.
I will say this though about Pederson. If we're gonna start judging him this year, I will say that his press conferences have definitely improved. So
he's learned how to lie, and I like that.
Yes.
I like that. Manipulate, Doug.
Yes.
Good job.
Yeah, you can't always be completely honest as a head coach in the NFL. So it's good that he's learned to lie a little bit.
Do you think that he's going to be better than Chip Kelly? Well, again, it depends on your perception of Chip Kelly, I guess. Because a lot of people will say that Chip Kelly was the worst coach in Philadelphia Eagles history, in a lot of ways.
And it's tough to judge because they both run totally different styles of an offense.
Yeah.
So, and I will say this about Pederson. I think that he did a good job of putting together a good staff around him.
He did a very good job of that.
I will always say that the one thing...
And Chip did not do a very good job.
That was the worst thing that Chip Kelly did. I think that if Chip Kelly would have came in here and he would have hired, say, a Jim Johnson as a defensive coordinator, that's exactly what Chip Kelly needed. Instead, he hired Billy Davis, so they were just absolutely awful on defense. And that didn't help Chip Kelly out at all because the problem they ran into is they were getting a ton of 3-and-outs, and then the defense would go on the field, and it was shit. And it would just be, a touchdown in a matter of minutes. So I think that, in a way, it's really tough to judge that, especially because Chip Kelly wasn't here that long, and we've only seen Doug Pederson for one season.
Yeah. Well, the thing that Doug is doing right now that's similar to Chip Kelly is the predictability of the offense. Because last year, first down, I knew what was coming. Second down, I knew what was coming. Third down, I knew what was coming. you'd hope with some more weapons this year that the play calling gets a little bit more mixed up and actually expand the damn playbook. Because last year, we saw the same plays, but this playbook was supposed to be this monstrosity, and we didn't see any of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you hope now they say that they've opened up the playbook a little bit. You get Wentz some weapons, you get a guy like Alshon Jeffrey. So they should be able to do a lot more. I mean, when you look at what Carson Wentz was throwing to last year, it was pretty bad. They definitely did a good job of really upgrading the receiving core. So that should definitely help out with opening up the playbook.
It will definitely expand the playbook.
Yes, it will. And then you also look at, last year they didn't have a running back like Blunt. Blunt is a big guy, and the Eagles did not have that last year. And the one thing that really the whole, Pederson offense is dictated on a powerful running game.
Yep.
And now they have that. So we'll see if that helps with Pederson opening up the playbook.
Yeah, open up the play action a little bit more, even though this is always going to be like a pass-first kind of offense anyway. But, yeah, it's what I want to see is, open up the playbook. Don't be afraid to throw the ball downfield on 3rd and 10. Like, that was the thing I hated last year. Like, it's 3rd and 9, and you're throwing a wide receiver screen to Jordan Matthews. That was a problem. Anything that was 3rd and 10, you might as well just punt the ball, because they either ran it or ran a screen, and it never worked. You never got the first down. So hopefully this year, with some more weapons on the 3rd and 10, you actually call some vertical routes down the field.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Last year they got into those 3rd and long situations, and they kind of just gave up. They were just kind of punting the ball. But, now you get a guy like, Torrey Smith. He's got some speed. Hopefully that opens up things down the field a little bit for you. And you get a guy.
Let's not get our hopes too high, though.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, a lot of Eagles fans are sucking his dick, so just saying.
Yeah, no, you know what's crazy is, if the Eagles cut Torrey Smith, if he's like a training camp cut, preseason cut, I honestly wouldn't be shocked. I think that, people are maybe getting a little bit too high on him. I really hope that he can, come back to the guy that he was in Baltimore, but I'm not getting my hopes up on him.
It's funny. It's funny. Last year, Eagles fans were rooting against the Niners because of Chip Kelly, and one of their excuses was, "Well, they got Torrey Smith. He stinks. Like, did you see what he did?" And now all of a sudden, we signed a guy, and the excuses are for him. They're like, "Well, look at the quarterback situation." Like, come on, guys. God. Whenever we sign somebody, it's like the best player ever.
Well, yeah, it's funny because it was like when it was a trade deadline last year, everyone's like, "Oh no, Torrey Smith, he's garbage."
Yeah, right. Yeah. Now we have him. He's gonna have a breakout year because he's got Carson Wentz.
Well, it's
funny how things turn around.
Yeah, funny when we got like Reuben Randall and Givens.
Yeah.
And it was like, everyone's like, they were just assuming that they were going to make the team. And it didn't even make the team. So, I don't even think it's a lock that Smith makes the team. He's got to show in the preseason and in training camp that, he's a different guy. And he's a guy that he was with the Ravens.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else. We pretty much nailed everything that we needed to. There's really not much to say. Although I just wanted to make the point about Wentz and Pederson because, it seems like there is this perception that's being made in Philadelphia.
Yeah. No, you're exactly right.
They're still in there. I heard girls, so sorry if I just messed up the camera. They're still in there. Unlike last time where the girls left.
We'll see what happens, but I think really the biggest thing with Pederson is you hope that he becomes like I don't know, if he can become like a B minus, a C plus type of coach, and then you have a guy like Wentz, and you hope that he's able to hit. If he hits his ceiling, then you're probably all right.
Yeah.
But Pederson's not going to be the reason why the Eagles ever win a Super Bowl. Obviously, Wentz is going to have to be the guy that takes that next step and wins them the Super Bowl.
Well, that's what I've always said. Like, we're going to win a Super Bowl with Carson Wentz, it's just not going to be under Doug Pederson. And that's my prediction. That's what I think.
You just hope that when we get in that, if we get in that big game, that Pederson doesn't make a bonehead call and just screws it all up.
Or challenges a 2-yard reception.
That was.
We never got to that point. We never said anything about that.
Well, that's because that's they had the Pat Aguilar stats.
Yeah. Yo, fuck the Cowgirls. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No one likes the Cowboys. Jeez.
Hey.
Cowboys fans are so dumb. Here's how dumb they are. I made a video the other day about Pro Football Focus naming the Eagles' offensive line the best in the NFL. And these two Cowboys fans come on, and, you know, they're basically telling me to stop it. So clearly they didn't watch the video, because in the video I said that Dallas still has a better offensive line than the Eagles. So them telling me to stop it, well, clearly Dallas fans don't think that their offensive line is as good anymore. If they're telling me to stop it.
Right.
Idiots.
Well, their offensive line is definitely taking a hit. They're definitely not as good. They're still up there. They're probably the best in the NFL. But the thing with Dallas is, if they, now they're at the point since they lost a few guys there along that offensive line, 2 starters. If they get an injury, they could be in trouble a little bit as far as depth goes.
They got no depth there. They got no depth. And that's something that they've been able to get away with. No injuries on their offensive line. Yeah,
no, they've definitely been able to get away with it. I mean, last year they could get away with it, but now they can't. So the thing about the NFC East is it's really going to tighten up this year, because Dallas isn't going to run away with this thing. I think it's going to be pretty close, and you really can't count anyone out. I mean, everyone's going to be in it. I think the Redskins are always the Redskins. They're going to be up and down, but Kirk Cousins isn't going to lead them to anything. So, they're probably going to be around 500, less than that. Yeah. But I think, you're going to have the Cowboys, Eagles, and Giants up there fighting for the division.
Yeah. All right, before we leave, what do you want to see Doug Pederson improve most in 2017?
I guess just, like we were talking about, that thing with Aguilar when he challenged like a 2-yard gain. It's things like that. It's just not being an idiot, really. Yeah. I mean, there was times when you looked at him and he was just, just making idiotic play calls. So I think and what also I want to see is I really want to see him, like we were saying, open up this playbook.
Be a little bit more aggressive?
Yeah.
Oh, so you're taking my lines. You're taking my thought there. That's where I was going to go with that.
Yeah, so I think that's what he's got to do. Now that you got a guy like Alshon who can go up and make a catch in the end zone, unlike DGB, who we thought was going to be able to do that. And hopefully have some more speed. So we'll see. Yeah, I would like to see him, open up that playbook a little more. I think that's the one thing he's really got to work on.
It's funny. We just had a comment about why does Doug get excuses, or why does Wentz get excuses but not Doug? We just talked about that in the first 5 minutes of our video.
Yeah, it's tough.
Wow. Holly, you always tune in late. Always tune in late. We talked about it the first five minutes. But yeah, like my thing is aggressiveness. I want to see the aggressiveness. If it's 3rd and 10, I don't want to see a screen. I want to see Wentz throw the ball downfield. Sorry, it's all good. You do it all the time though. It's all good. So I guess when people watch our videos, they always tune in during it. They don't watch it from the beginning. This is something I'm finding out. But yeah, aggressiveness. Like 3rd and 10, I want to see Carson Wentz throw the ball downfield. I don't want to see screen plays. I just want to see more aggressiveness overall. Just take some shots down the field. Like, everyone wants to make fun of Carson Wentz and his air yards. Well, some of that has to do with Doug Pederson and his play calling. So, next time do a video about what will be our toughest games. I think. Oh, didn't see the rest of it. But yeah,
we'll get into that more as we get closer to the season. Yeah. Right now we're kind of in that period where so much can change before the season even starts. So we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But I mean, before we get out of here, I guess I would say, you guys join in. If any of you guys are, in the area, you want to come out, grab a beer sometimes, we'd love to have you on the show as a guest,
come to the Green Parrot.
Yeah.
That's what Mike and I do. Mike works right down the street. I live 15 minutes away, so he gets off work. I come down here, and we meet up for a couple beers. So that's where we're at. Wentz will be the first quarterback to throw for 4,000 yards. I think he'll throw for 4,000 yards this year. I don't see why not. As long as Doug is a little bit more aggressive.
He's got the weapons.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I don't see that. I'm black. You guys like black people. Of course we like black people. Yeah. Kidding. You know I love you, man. Come on, Lenny. Yeah, so... well, I never did a video on this. I mean, I could have, but Zachary Orr. I mean, that's just like a no-brainer. Like, if you have a chance to get Zachary Orr on your football team, like 125 tackles, you go get him. So I feel like, you know, I didn't really need to do a video on that because I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need to
sign Zach Orr.
Right.
Sign Zach Orr. There you go. So we're gonna end it on that note. We're out. You got anything else you want?
Till next time.
Yeah. Are those girls still there? Oh, yeah. They are. See, the last ones, they left. This time, they're still there.
Staying.
Oh, yeah. If there's a rape tonight, it's me. It's my fault. Just kidding. We're out.